Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, we're back in the pub. I'm John, 6-inch pianist 319, and once again, I'm here with my mate Headley, another fat bearded man talking about records.
John, it's a bit cold down my end of the pub. It's
Is it?
turned. It's turned. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
have
not. It's not quite as much of a snug as it used to be.
you got your thermals on, Headley? Yeah.
I certainly have.
Yeah, good. And with
Not
us
on my
as well.
bottoms. I'm naked from the waist down,
Oh, blimey. Right, and
as
with us as
usual.
well, we've also got Madam Sin, Paul. Welcome back to the pub.
Evening, Governor.
Best behaviour today, you and Harris Pilton. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good man. How are you? All right.
Very
Thanks for
good.
inviting
Very good.
me.
Right. So yeah, what you all drinking? Paul, what are you drinking there?
I am drinking some punch. Now, here is cherry rum, pineapple rum, and coconut rum.
Blimey.
Yeah, with freshly squeezed orange and lemon.
Oh, very nice.
Rum.
So you've got not got much of a mixer in there, Paul.
No, it's mainly rum, to be honest.
It's a bit like the Spam sketch, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
there's rum, and rum.
Right, Harris, what are you drinking?
Yeah, pretty standard for me. A Hicks traditional Cornish ale. My mum lives down in St Ives, so
Very nice.
she's a bit of a Cornish connection there. So yeah,
Very nice. Oh, Headley, our last video we did together, we had a comment the other day from somebody calling us a couple of lightweights, basically saying we were a disgrace, a right shower, as he described us. Said he spills more booze down his shirt than we drink. That's what he said. So you've got to up your game today. What are you drinking?
Oh, well, I'm the designated driver to get Paul home, so I'm on the low alcohol beer again.
Oh, right, okay. Perhaps he had a pint. Well, perhaps he had a point rather than a pint. But he probably had a pint wrong. I've got a pint of Guinness, so there you go.
I never have a point, but I often have a pint.
Right, okay. So you know the score. You each get 2 plays on the jukebox for your quid. That's all. Inflation and all that. So Paul, starting off with you again, mate. What you got?
Okay. Well, tonight, John, I've got a record.
Look how proud he is. Look.
It's these 45s are like my children, and I couldn't possibly pick a favourite because I love them all.
That's nice. What you got?
Oh, work that way. Bob and Jerry, Ghost Satellite.
No idea. What's that?
And that is a favourite of the Mad Daddy, and that is a really marvellous. And because Halloween, Ghost Satellite, you see. Spooky.
So you've been thinking about it, yeah? Very good.
Really marvellous. I love that label as well, Rendezvous. Actually came out over here on Pi International.
Okay.
I've never seen one.
How did they decide to get to release them over here? Because obviously there must be a shed loads of stuff that's released. It was released in the States.
Yeah.
Who they've got people out there that are sort of listening to all this stuff and thinking, well, maybe we can.
Well, they would have the equivalent of talent scouts.
Yeah.
Who would look out for stuff. I mean, actually, the reason that I put Spell on You was actually issued over here was because of Marty Wilde, because he'd heard it and said, "Oh, you've got to put out this record. I put a spell on you. It's actually fantastic." So that was like down to him. I think some of the time it was like word of mouth,
But did you get British artists covering them, and then when they've had the hit, someone then decides to release the American original?
That was the thing. That often the English versions were really just dreadful. I mean, they were so lame. They were basically recorded by people that didn't know what rock and roll was because it was all new.
Oops.
Give him some more punch.
Yeah.
Punch. 4-run punch.
But Marty Wilde doesn't get the credit he deserves, Marty Wilde, because he's almost sort of forgotten about now, isn't he? But it's interesting what Paul was saying there, about him playing a part and getting that released over here, because he cut some great tunes in the late 50s, in the early 60s. And of course, he went on as well, didn't he, to did he co-write, or was it his son that co-wrote Kids in America with Kim Wilde?
I have no idea.
My knowledge of Marty Wilde is minimal. My knowledge of Kim Wilde is fairly extensive, if I'm honest. I was completely besotted by Kim Wilde.
Oh man, yeah, she was lovely. But yeah, that's an absolute banger, though, isn't it? Kids in America.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I loved it. I even loved the late night '80s stuff, like "You Came." Like,
yeah,
that was a big hit. Yeah.
Paul, we just went on to the on a tangent talking about Marty Wilde. Did he co-write Kids in America, or was it his son that co-wrote it with Kim Wilde?
They both wrote it together, Marty and Ricky.
Oh, did they? Right, okay.
Yeah, she did. She had nothing to do with it.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you know the story about Kids in America?
No.
Well, Ricky and Marty used to write songs together anyway, because Marty was smart, because he knew his time as a teenage idol wasn't going to last, especially when it came out he'd married one of the Vernon's girls. And that was his sort of career on the skids as a teen heartthrob type. But because he wrote, he carried on writing, and he had quite a bit of success, Marty Wilde did. But he wrote that with Ricky, his son.
Right.
They pitched it to Mickey Most. Kim had just been doing the backup vocals on it for them, just helping them out, because it was a family thing. And Mickey Most said, "Well, who's that girl singing on there?" And he went, "Oh, that's Kim, He said, "Get her in to do it." It was great, Kim, because she wasn't like Marilyn Monroe, where she was just so out of your league.
Yeah.
She was almost reachable. You could almost get lucky with Kim.
The girl next door.
With a lot of...
Yeah, a little bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So she had this brilliant appeal. It was so clever, really. Well, I think a lot of it was luck. Not for her, but for the people who are marketing her. They've just been given this dream to work with.
Of course, yeah, but I mean that for a first single, "Kids in America" is an absolute banger, isn't it?
It's great. It's a great record, and she looked greed.
She did, yeah.
And she had great appeal.
Yeah, Harris might have mentioned that already. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan. Yeah,
she was lovely, though, wasn't she? She was lovely.
Learning about Marty Wilde tonight. I know nothing.
Marty Wilde.
It doesn't get more exciting than that, does it, Marty Wilde?
Exciting stuff.
Actually got more hair now than he had in the 50s. Amazing, and it has been known to, at gigs, for a group of dreadful teddy boys to make comments about his syrup. I have witnessed it.
Yeah.
Go on, Harris. What have you got, mate?
Right. So
it's Kim Wilde, isn't it? He's got Kim Wilde down there.
Yeah. As much as I love being English, the things I love about being English are normally quite different to other people, and one of which is our ability to have total strangers to have a communal sing-song in the pub. Which, when I was about 21, me and my mate bought a camper van and went across Europe and had the time of our lives. But we are easily the best country ever at communal sing-songs in pubs, because everyone else is useless. Luxembourg, Switzerland, Finland, they can't do it. And we go to this pub quiz. It's brilliant. It's called the London, and it's a music bingo. So there's a digital DJ, and you get a bingo card with a load of songs on. It tends to be, it's a pub that's full of it's Thursday night, so you get a load of students, a load of circuit drinkers, and a load of sort of stressed out office workers, because in Thursday night is always the best night. And you get a bingo card with songs on it, and the DJ will play that 10 seconds. And if it's your song on your card, you knock it off, and that's your bingo card. But the joy of it is everyone sings along to every song. It's like you get 10 seconds of like each little song, and like so you get all the whole pub singing along to like some 41s, all the small things, or some nonsense like
That's
that. It's always so,
isn't it?
or busted. I've been in the year 3000. It's just the best night ever. So I'm thinking, my dream is I do love a sing along, and my dream is I'm gonna open a pub chain called Pilton's. We're gonna do toasted sandwiches, our food, and I'm thinking sing alongs, TV theme tunes. That's what I'm gonna have in the jukebox, because everyone loves a TV theme tune. Like I just got this picture of a load of tanked up Leeds United fans sing along to Only Fools and Horses theme or something, and then something else comes on. It'd just be incredible. So I've chosen for my pub jukebox TV theme, which is Man in a Suitcase by Ron Granier, better known as the TGI Fridays theme.
I love it.
TFI Friday, even. Yeah.
TFI Friday.
It's great.
Man, it's brilliant. I think it would just work well. Start of the night, bit of sort of cocktail hour. It's just a wonderful tune, this as well. Absolutely brilliant. And I only know it from TFI Fridays. That's all I know it from.
So many good themes, didn't he, Ron? I mean, he really was a epic chap, wasn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like the 60s themes. The UK had the cool ones, but you get into the 70s and America takes over.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You get Mike Post, and I suppose he's into the 80s, but that's sort of that period. And they just, all of his Mike Post stuff. I love his stuff. But
Hill Street Blues. He did Hill Street Blues, right?
That's right.
I know he didn't do it, but Starsky and Hutch. Come on. That's got to be the greatest of the lot, sure.
Oh, I don't know. What about Magnum? Magnum PI. That's a good one.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
There are some goodies.
So did you used to watch TFI Friday, Harris?
Yeah, loved it. It was right in that era, wasn't it? It was brilliant. Like I lived in it with 6 lads at that point, and we were absolutely caners, all of us. Absolutely. And before we went out on a Friday night, it was Pete Tong on Radio 1. I can't remember what it's called, like the Essential Mix or something, wasn't it? Yeah. But it was like TFI Friday, and it was crazy.
Is that
it?
the 80s or 90s?
90s, mid-90s.
It started in 95, 96.
Yeah, something like
it was kind of washed up by about 97.
Passed me by all that. Yeah.
Well, it was Sean Ryder that made sure that it could never go out live again, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah. He did a cover of, was it Pretty Vacant or Anarchy in the UK?
Yeah.
He was dressed as Johnny Rotten, and he said "fuck" 13 times on live TV. So he had his wrist slapped. And
I heard a story about Donovan told about how back in the 90s, his daughter started going out with Sean Ryder.
Yeah.
And there he is. He turns up at his house with Donovan. And there's Sean Ryder being all nice, coming for tea.
Yeah. Yeah, because they wrote a song called Donovan, The Happy Mondays, I think.
That's right.
did they?
Yeah.
Is that about Donovan or his daughter?
Yeah, I don't know. It was very of the time, wasn't it? TFI Fridays. It was the Britpop chat show essentially.
It was, Not my thing. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I think I might have been it was a bit later when I was at college, and I just my mates wanted to watch it, and I just refused. I hated it. I hated it. It's just everything about that whole. It was the whole Cool Britannia. It was the whole lads mags. It was all that stuff, and it wasn't my thing. Really wasn't.
Yeah, but you look at it now, and there's so many great live music performances on that show. So the White Room was around slightly after that as well. Yeah. And when those things crop up on YouTube or whatever, it's like The Word as well, sort of early 90s. Seeing the live clips from those programs are great. Really are.
The Word was the best. For live clips, The Word was phenomenal. Because, they were the first program to ever put Nirvana on. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That's right.
And L7, who did something unspeakable, I think, on it. And,
don't talk about that.
Yeah. It was great. And the Stereo Lab and John Spencer Blues. Oh, man, it was amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic, that was actually.
Music TV from the 90s. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
I love the way we started from. This was originally from 60s music, and you guys end up talking Britpop and shit.
Right ahead, Lee, what you got?
Now, I thought I'd have an easy life tonight and let you guys do some work. So I've chosen a couple of records that clearly two of you are going to know far more about than I am. So I got a record today, actually, and it kind of spurred me on to choose a thing. I bought this record, which is a collection of... it's called the Original Pantomime Instrumental Collection. It's Glenn Brown reggae instrumental tunes from 70 to 74. And it's great. And I love those sort of, often with melodica and things like that. I love those sort of reggae instrumentals. And I thought, I've got a couple of those. And so I thought I'd pick one out. And I've got Elizabethan reggae.
Oh, yeah.
Boris
Gardner.
Boris Gardner, yeah. Now, this is Gardner with no eye. He went on, put an eye in later, I think.
Okay, right.
But yeah, and of course, I think I heard the first version of this I heard was the original, which is Elizabethan Serenade, which is by Ronald Binge, which is probably one of the greatest British names of all time, from the 1950s, you know. Yeah, it's just weird that they would take this kind of classic of English light classical music and turn it into this sort of reggae tune. So now this is the point where you take over. Both of you, we've got two reggae experts in. Maybe you could tell me a bit about that.
Well, it's a great tune. It's a great instrumental. Boris Gardner, of course, was a bass player, and he plays on a lot of the big sort of reggae tunes around the sort of 1970, that sort of period. But of course, he had a number one single over here, didn't he? 1986. I Want to Wake Up With You, which is absolutely appalling. But it was a genuine number one single.
One of the best-selling records of reggae, though, isn't it?
It is.
That's one of the best-selling ones of all time, I would say.
Yeah, but he's an interesting artist. But so did Jonathan Richman cover that as well?
I don't know. I know there's a version of it by Bad Manners because it was a double A side with Chaz and Dave.
No,
they did Elizabethan reggae, and Chaz and Dave did Old Lang Syne.
Oh right, there you go.
But I really loved. I mean that light music. Ronald Binge, he's probably most famous for Sailing By, which is the music they play at the end of the night on Radio 4, accompanying the shipping forecast.
Oh, nice.
So he did that. Oh, I love the shipping forecast.
Whenever
I feel if I hear it, I feel my blood pressure's going down.
Yeah.
I put it in the same bag as One Man and His Dog.
Yeah. They don't do that anymore. Isn't that annoying?
I mean, you can't believe that was television, primetime TV. One Man.
I used to love that kid, One Man and His Dog. It was just so tremendous. It used to fascinate me. Used to watch
with Phil Drabble. Phil Drabble was the presenter,
and it was just terrific. BBC Two was wonderful in the 70s because you had Bilko once a week. You had Sergeant Bilko. You had a Tex Avery double bill, and then you had Pop Black and One Man and His Dog.
So, Paul, for the American viewers, you just want to explain exactly what One Man and His Dog consisted of?
The best.
It was just absolutely fascinating. It was about sheepdogs, wasn't it?
sheepdog trials. Yeah,
it was a competition, though, wasn't it?
Really clever dogs that were trained to round up sheep.
Yeah,
and
like cowboys. They're like sort of dog cowboys, weren't they? Yeah.
And through a series of whistles.
That's right.
Yeah.
From the shepherd, and it's just fascinating. And they lie deep in the like down low, don't they? And then they get their command, and off they go. Honestly, it was for me. It was like a hypnosis because I just used to sit there spellbound by it. But no, let's
our local newspaper years ago, because I live in rural Yorkshire where I am, and what we have in our newspaper is we didn't have a spot the ball competition, we had a spot the dog competition, and you'd have a photograph of a field of sheep, and you had to guess where the dog was.
Spot the dog.
X on its nose.
That's living.
I'm not sure. I'm not saying the 70s were dull, but it used to get like 32 million viewers, didn't it? It was like ridiculous.
Prime time Sunday night.
Thing was real. Did your mum and dad used to do spot the ball coupons?
Yeah, my dad did. Yeah.
It was everyone used to do it, didn't they? It was like a real thing. I can remember people sitting down going, "Oh, do you think is it there or no, it might be there." Oh, please, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a real thing, man.
Very good. Right then, my pick. Right, so I'm gonna show a bit of soul music just for a change.
Oh, nice one, John.
And I'm going for some Northern Soul. So this came out in '67, but my copy's from the mid '70s because it's a reissue around the time of the, it was big in the Northern Soul clubs, whatever. So I bought this record in the summer off the clairvoyant chap at the car boot, Clairvoyant Carl. And
how much did you pay? Did he see you coming?
He did see me coming. Yeah, he did. Boom. Yeah, so just to explain, so I mentioned this in one of my videos that basically, I obviously go to car boots every weekend, and there's a guy there. He's an old guy. He's on a mobility scooter, but he quite often gets to the records before me. That's how slow I am. And he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. So fair play. I mean, he must be in his late 70s, 80s, whatever. He's not exactly mobile, but he gets there, and he often pulls out really good stuff. And one day he came over to me and he said, "You buy reggae, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I've got a bag of reggae. Do you want to have a look through?" And I started having a look through. And as I was going through, he started telling me, he goes, "Oh, did you know I'm clairvoyant?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I didn't know you were clairvoyant. That's interesting." I was looking at the reggae. And because, if you have the choice of speaking to somebody at a car boot sale, somebody that's clairvoyant or somebody that's not clairvoyant, you'll always go to clairvoyant conversation, won't you? And he said, "Yeah, I'm clairvoyant." I said, "All right." I said, "What, what sort of things have you been, have you done clairvoyant?" And expecting something really impressive. I mean, there's no punchline here. I'm just telling you what happened. And he said, he goes, "Oh, well," we went to the bingo, me and the wife, and he goes, "I get these visions." And I had a vision of the number 868. So I told the wife, put a 10 on 868 at the bingo, and it came out, won £1,000. I said, "Fair play." He goes, "The following week, I had a vision, 242. Didn't come in though." And that was it. that was basically it. But apparently he's clairvoyant. Anyway, the record that he sold me was is this Sandy Sheldon.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You're Gonna Make Me Love You, of course.
Nice,
very nice. So I've heard this played on the radio quite a bit recently.
Have you? Wow.
Yeah, it's on Six Music. I've been playing it quite a bit, but
Yeah,
it's an absolute
classic.
banger. What I didn't realise though was that it's written, produced, arranged by Van McCoy.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, so Van McCoy, of course, we all think about him as being
Shuffle Man.
Yeah,
yeah, the hustle sort of mid
Yeah, the
that's
Hustle.
isn't it? The hustle, yeah, that sort of early sort of disco period. He put a lot of
Yeah,
records
nice,
on it.
great sound, lovely band.
Great sound, yeah,
Yeah,
but in the 60s, he was a writer and producer, and he made some great stuff. There's a couple of lovely compilations on Ace Records of the
yeah,
60s stuff that he put out. And this is one of those. And I think Sandy Sheldon, she recorded under a few different names, just odd singles here and there, often with Van McCoy. She never had any real success, but this is one that was picked up by the Northern Soul crowd, and it is an absolute banger. This is it's an epic, as you can see. But yeah, great.
yeah. It's
really
up there
nice.
on the Mount Rushmore. I think that came out on Oki originally,
Yeah,
didn't
it
it?
did originally come out on
Yeah,
Oki.
yeah. Because that was a. It's funny because when I see VC people in America talk about sometimes they wear an Oki t-shirt,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, they're into Northern Soul. But in America, Okies and probably Paul, you're on both sides of it. Oki in America is known as what, a blues label, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And also
Yeah, no,
an,
you
Okie,
carry on.
an Okie in the States is a term for a sort of hillbilly, isn't it?
Well, it
Is that
was
how
the
you pronounce
Oklahoma people that during the Dust Bowl moved. They
Yeah,
were Okies.
Yeah.
that's it. So is it a pejorative term or not
Yeah,
really?
it was originally. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it
I think
was,
it's. I think it's one of those things that they've regained it, and you know,
yeah.
I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee. You know.
Yeah, like a lot of people have nowadays, haven't they? I mean, you know.
Yeah,
I won't say them.
I've taken Fat Bastard. I'm going with it.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
I like the way
Yeah.
Headley, quite often when people are name checking your channel, they never get it right.
No, the number of times they call me the Fat Bastard when we talked about records.
I like
Thank
it because
you.
it's unusual. I've never met. I was at school with a boy at my boarding school. He was actually my boxing partner, but his name was Rex.
That's a
Isn't
good
that
name.
wonderful?
That's
Isn't that a
good.
wonderful name?
That's a proper man's name, isn't it, Rex?
It really
Yeah.
is, Rex. And I've never met anyone else called that.
No.
You know, and it's literally the only one I've ever met in my life. You know,
Yeah.
but you just don't get those names anymore, do you? You know.
No. Tex, that's another one you don't hear anymore, is it, Tex?
Oh, did you get many texts in Birmingham?
Yeah. No, we didn't get many texts.
Do you know the story about the guy Tex Withers?
No.
Do you know Tex? Well, you'll know Tex Withers, Paul.
Yeah.
He was in the sort of in the 50s, 60s in London, playing Soho clubs, and he had spina bifida, I think, or something like that, and he was quite short, and he dressed up as a cowboy, and he spoke with a cowboy accent, and he never dropped it, and he had the backstory that he was half Cherokee or something, and yeah, and his name, but it wasn't Tex, by the way, but yeah, and he used to come on stage in Soho and places like that on horseback, and then do his act.
Did you? There was a whole scene in England of basically English guys pretending to be American country singers. I've actually got one by a guy who's from Corby, and
Nottinghamshire, yeah.
I'm just trying to think his name. It's gone anyway. This guy yodels.
Right, okay.
And I've got a brilliant EP by him. Selwyn Cox. That's it. And he was a pipe fitter from Corby, but he just sets himself up as like a proper cowboy, and yodels and everything. Oh, it's just fantastic.
You don't hear enough yodeling anymore, do you?
No, you don't. And it's quite hard to do, John.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yodeling, and the other one that's almost like a dying art form on records is whistling. You don't hear many people whistling on records anymore, do you?
I love whistling.
Yeah.
I really love
it.
So marvellous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Me and my son, we love a guy from the 30s called Leslie Cerrone. And he did things like the original things that the Bonzos covered, about the what's it, hunting tigers out in India and all that sort of thing. But he does one called Icicle Joe the Eskimo. He lives upon the ice. He says it's very nice when he cuts himself a slice. And he does a little dance and he whistles. It's just so tremendous. And you think, no one whistles anymore.
No.
Well, I do come from a family of whistlers.
Someone just whistling.
I'm renowned for whistling. No, I'm being serious.
Do you remember the guy that used to come on and used to do all the bird noises?
Yeah.
Percy Edwards. Percy's thrower. Percy Edwards. Well, these are all people from the from the music hall things, and all you needed to do is you had your 5-10 minute act. You'd go and do it. By the time you'd gone all the way around the country to all the clubs, no one would remember your act, so you just went and did it again. So people made whole careers based on like 5 or 10 minutes or just one act.
Well, it's like,
and then television came and fucked them up.
They have about 7 or 8 minutes together in variety. You could have an act that was like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, and knowing that there was another dozen people who were going to come on and do exactly the same thing, and then obviously the headliner would have like 15 minutes or something. They were the star of the show, and so you had your little shtick done, your sand dance, or you're juggling things or telling jokes or whatever it was, and you had it down pat. And every night you just turned up and did it,
It's like I remember watching the variety performances and stuff when I was a kid with my nan. And who was it? Norman Collier? He used to do that thing with the mic. You sound like it's cutting up.
Right, brilliant. Must have loved all that.
Yeah,
I love that show. Fantastic.
My gran took me to see Norman Collier in the Bournemouth Winter Gardens because she was a kid there. We saw Little and Large, Norman Collier. All of Michael Barrymore when he was about 18. The week before we saw Norman Collier, Joy Division had played there. That's a true story.
That is so fantastic, mate.
Yeah, I was actually quite happy that we went to see Norman Collier. If I'm honest,
I'm not a big Norman Collier as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd love to have seen him in Little and Large. That must have been excellent.
Yeah, I saw them. Saw them there.
That's great, isn't it? When I was a kid in the 60s, my uncle used to take me to the pantomimes, and I remember a pantomime. It was Peter Pan, and it was Twiggy as Peter Pan, and it had Steptoe and Son in it.
No.
Yeah, and they came on in a horse and cart.
Wow.
And Captain Hook was Dave Allen, Yeah. The old Irish comic.
Yeah.
They were so fantastic.
And now you get H out of Steps.
Right. I mean, Danny LaRue as Widow Twankey, just tremendous, proper entertainment. You know what I mean?
Proper acting. Yeah.
Ah.
My heart with anyone, but I find I can't escape the tender trap you weave. I'm about to lose my heart. Said I do believe you're gonna make me want you. You're gonna make me need you, baby. You're gonna make me love you. Oh yeah, you're gonna make me want you, need you, love you, baby. I can feel your
Is somebody going to pick a song? Who's up next?
It's Paul, I think.
Paul, yeah, you got a record.
I have indeed. And staying with the Halloween theme and lovingly holding it and presenting this lovely piece of vinyl.
Ooh.
Janie Made a Monster.
Who's that? I can't read the label, mate.
I think it's the Fabulous Five, is it?
Okay. I don't know that. So what's that then?
That's marvellous. Janie Made a Monster. It's another Mad Daddy favourite. really off the wall, wavy, do what. Yeah, it's really tremendous, John.
Is that one that you put on one of your comps?
Do you know what it actually is?
Oh, there you go. Very good.
Just between you and me.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be another one for the jukebox. That'll get them all out.
Well, yeah. So what type of stuff is that then? What type of stuff is it? Is it like rockabilly or what is it?
It's doo-wop.
Doo-wop, okay.
Yeah, but it's really off the wall. And the thing about that, it's got a guy cackling. And when I first heard it, it came to me on a cassette from Lux Interior. And they were basically his favourite records from the Mad Daddy that he used to play on his show. And he wanted to do an album. And it was my job to find all these records.
Oh, wow.
So that was one of the records I found. But when I heard it on the tape, it had this mad cackling on it. And I thought it was the Mad Daddy doing it over the record. So I was delighted when I actually got the record. No, it's actually on the record.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it was kind of a learning curve for me. That it was great because it gave me something to sort of find out. And it was before the internet. So I had to go through loads of record lists looking for things with titles like that. So sometimes it would come up, I'd get the wrong thing or whatever. But that was all part of it. But I found it all. And then in the end, I found that they couldn't license it all because it was from all these different records from all over the show. But that's a shame because it would have been a great album.
Mm. But you sort of corrected that anyway, didn't you?
I like to think, that I corrected it in my own little way.
Good.
I had quite a lot of bootleg albums, like songs the Cramps taught us and stuff like that, and they were all a bit iffy. But I mean, they were brilliant, but they always sounded a bit like bootleg albums. Do you know what I mean?
That guy that did that, he took them off tapes that I used to do, Harris.
Really?
I used to have all those records on cassette. I used to
so you were involved in that? That's amazing.
No, I wasn't involved at all. Oh
no, sorry,
no. He'd taken my cassettes and then he'd bootlegged them.
Okay. Yeah.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Great album.
But it's all the stuff. I mean, because basically everything they did was not necessarily a cover, but they would take the music from a record, and often instrumentals. They would just write their own lyrics to them.
Yeah,
that's how they used to do it because they couldn't come up with the tune. I mean, they were like Bob Dylan. I mean, they couldn't come up with the tune if their life depended on it. They could come up with the lyrics. So that was the sort of thing. So there's all these basically old instrumentals, and they would just add lyrics to them.
Yeah,
but
Janie, what have you done? Janie, this is fun. We don't know what it's all about, but look out, look out, look out. Janie was a girl who was short on looks, was a real wildcat when it came to books. At a party or a hop, she was mighty sad, but she was the queen of the chemistry lab. Janie saw the chemicals on the shelf, and she said, I'll make the date for myself. So she threw the bottle on the floor, and up came a monster with a horrible roar. Now the monster, he was taller than tall.
Well, I was saying to Jody, they just think, with those 10 years, just think what I could have done. I could have, I could have been a doctor by now, or a dentist, or
learned a couple of languages. Yeah.
I could have got fit. Prolong my life by another 10 years rather than holding up records like this.
VC thumbnails are the best, aren't they?
I don't know how to do them. Whether I had to pick, I just pick up just a clip from the.
Well, there's the three main ones are there's the parlogram guy who does all the.
Yeah.
That guy, and then there's the I won't say her name, but there's sort of, and then they're all fanned out like sort of Hey, yeah. My husband comes back from the gym with bruises and his wallet missing. You know, there's that one, or there's the I'm an artist, but I don't make art. You know, there's a whole myriad, number of styles you can use. Do you know what I mean?
What's your preference, Paul?
Mine, at the moment, I'm going for very, very boring, you know.
Yeah, it's effective though. It's effective.
Do you know, it's much more effective than me showing just totally abstract images
Yeah,
that have nothing to do
Oh, blimey.
and titles that have nothing to do with what I'm doing.
yeah,
It's amazing how just putting myself, actually showing the thing I'm talking about,
yeah.
the title that matches the thumbnail. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's actually doubled the views.
Sorted. Go on in, Harris. Have you got a record?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So sort of.
You look surprised, in Harris, that I was going to ask you to show a record.
Yeah, I've forgotten. Pub sing along. Sort of. I've gone for Blur. Oh, we're going to need a bigger jukebox, by the way. It's a 12-inch thing. I'm sorry. Blur for Tomorrow.
Oh, tune.
Yeah.
I've
Wonderful
never seen that on
stuff.
a 12 before.
But you have now. Look at that.
Look at that.
And kind of the song that, well, it's wonderful. Anyway, it's got a lovely sort of almost Chaz and Dave like sing along chorus. La,
Yeah.
la, 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 la. And it was, I think it worked well. It works well in a pub. Everyone's sort of arm in arm, loving it. And it's a song that kind of invented Britpop, really.
Yeah, it's definitely the start of Britpop, isn't it?
Yeah, singing about London, and you watch the video, and it's all they're wearing skinny, tight, Doc Martens and Fred Perrys, and wonderful stuff. And I think they'd written the album, and the record label told them to write a single because they thought the album didn't have a single, and this is what they wrote, wasn't it? But fantastic stuff. And as I said, came out in '93, and probably codified the whole Britpop thing, really. Which I never liked. And to be honest, I didn't particularly like this at the time because I was sort of trying to find transcendence through electronic repetitive beats at the time. I'd given up with guitar music. And but we're looking back, I do really enjoy this now. And I did hear it in a pub and it was fantastic. And it was one of those songs, it is a bit of a sing-along. And it's sort of become sort of like almost like comfort music for me in these uncertain times. And it's a lovely song, and it's got. I know we were talking about lyrics in our last video, and I'm not a massive lyrics person at all. Actually, I don't think you are, John. No. But there's a line in there. I like lyrics where I don't make any sense to me whatsoever, but kind of evoke something. And there's a like. This is a bit of a lyrical masterclass, but there's one like London eyes cracks on a seamless line. I have no idea what that means, but I always really like that lyric. I don't know why, but it's evokes, I don't know, London and autumn or something. But yeah, it's a great tune, and I say I did hear it in a pub recently, and it was like, yeah, this is brilliant. And
see, it's interesting because I don't think we would have got Britpop as we know it without Blur. Without that album and Part Life,
I 100%.
I don't think we'd have had Britpop as we know. I know there's lots of big Britpop bands, Pulp, Oasis, whatever, but it's Blur in particular that define that Britpop, that Cockney, that London sound. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was that. Yeah, it's just because what they were wearing, they sort of they're mockneys, aren't they? It's all a bit fake, but they were
the Camden scene, wasn't it?
Yeah. What do you think, Hedley? I can see you. I can see you sort of judging me there. What do you? No,
think? I'm not. I'm just wondering at what point Paul's going to interject and say it's all a bit shit.
Well, I was in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
I used to DJ at the Laurel Tree where all that started, all that Britpop.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of it.
I remember all those ne'er-do-wells. And of course it meant nothing to me because you got to remember, for someone of my age, I'm 62, You know, when I was a teenager, I met Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Yeah.
You know, I met William Burroughs. You
Yeah.
know, Quentin Crisp, all people like that. You know, like as a teenager. So these people like Damon and
Yeah. All but.
you know the Eyebrow Brothers and
Yeah.
all those. You know, they had no charisma at all.
Yeah.
I remember waiting outside Screaming Jay Hawkins' dressing room for you know for him to come and open the door, and he opened the door and he had his cape on. He went, "Come in," you know. It's just marvelous, you know.
Well, the Laurel Tree in North London. Well, that's North London, right?
What's that, Harris?
Where you DJ'd the Laurel Tree.
Yeah, yes, in Camden.
Okay, yeah, because
Lo-
the good mixer. That was the pub.
Laurel, the
Yeah.
Laurel Tree's right across the road from Rock On.
Okay, yeah.
So as you come out of the tube, it's literally over the road.
Yeah.
And there's the underworld now there on the
That's
on the
right, yeah.
corner.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
But that used
Yeah.
to be the little hub of it because in the day it used to be the electric. Well, in my day it was the music machine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
And then it became the electric.
electric ballroom.
Well, that was quite a gay. Was that? Did they do a lot of gay nights there? Didn't they? Is that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main funny the Laurel Tree was a gay pub.
Okay.
But the two main places were that and the Black Cat, which were fantastic because they were just so really. I mean, the gay pubs in London back then.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not even there anymore.
Yeah.
The scene was just so amazing, and the drag queens back then. It wasn't about who could look like a woman the best. It wasn't at all. You had to have an act. You had to be able to tell jokes, and you had to be able to sing.
Yeah.
So you know, at the Black Cap, I literally caught the end of the year of Mrs. Shufflewick. I don't know if you've heard of Mrs. Shufflewick. But it was a guy called Rex. I can't remember his last name. Rex James.
Rex, another Rex.
Yeah, another Rex. It's so brilliant, isn't it? It's such an archaic name. And he used to come on and he used to go. Yeah, he had the same rap, but he used to come on and he used to look around and he used to go, "Fucking dust up there," you know, and stuff like that. And he go and he used to say things like, "I said, fuck me, more in hope than in anger," and he'd always talk about being accosted on the bus, the brute, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then he'd sing Marlene Dietrich songs. You know, just fantastic, proper entertainment.
I nearly chose the Marlene Dietrich single, actually.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
he used to do, you know, all alone. You know,
No, it's her version of where have all the flowers gone? I think.
yeah, that's brilliant.
That's class.
And that was really just before everyone like Lily Savage.
Yeah.
Julian Clare used to do it up the Black Cap. He used to be called the Joan Collins fan
club. Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Come on with the
I
little
remember. Yeah. Oh man. So when you were DJing though, what kind of night was that then? When you were DJing?
yeah. Well, no, I used to go in the lunchtime. Sunday lunchtime. This was Harris.
Okay.
Blimey.
But you were DJing?
No, not when I was DJing. No, Saturday night. Saturday night.
So what was that? What were you playing? Just everything?
Oh, God,
The rum's hit him.
we're going to be kept waiting now, aren't we, in suspense to find out what he was playing on a Saturday night. Paul, what were you playing then? That's what we want to know. What were you playing on your Saturday night set?
Yeah.
So on my Saturday night set, the Laurel Tree, I used to do pretty much ska. Well, I did do ska, rock steady, and skinhead reggae.
Oh,
Okay.
For some reason, there was a whole contingency of skinheads there anyway, and people wanted to hear that kind of reggae because it's easy to dance to and it's uplifting. Most people at that time were playing indie bands, and jingly jangly 60s stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was all that kind of 60s. They would play stuff like the Seeds and Chocolate Watch Band and all that, and then Birds and you know, the standells and all that kind of stuff. That was the sort of thing that people were into. But I didn't want to do that, so I just did a proper, like, you know, old school reggae.
He's a 20th century boy with his hands on the rails, trying not to be sick again and holding on for tomorrow. Landed ice cracks on a seamless line. He's hanging on for dear life, and so we hold each other tightly and hold on for tomorrow. Singing la 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 la
I gave all this up to have kids, you know.
Yeah.
So I did it up to 40, and then at 40 I said, right, that's it. I'm not doing all that stuff. I've done way too much of it, you know. It's like that Ian Dury song, you know. I'm sick of taking drugs and staying up late, you know. It's that I want to be straight. and that was it. And I just went, just cut it all out.
And then you find yourself doing the school run and stuff like that, yeah?
It's great. I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved having something meaningful to do, as opposed to talking to idiots who are coked up to the eyes.
So how did you get on with all the school mums, Paul? Did they
were really weird with me, because back in the day they didn't really know how to take it, and also I'd sort of rumbled them, you know, because they keep going, oh, it's the hardest job in the world. Oh, yeah, like working in an oil rig in the North Sea, got through the winter. That's sort of hard, you mean, or working on a roof all through July and August, you know, when you've got ginger hair, you know, that's sort of hard, or, you know, and they would go on about all this old bollocks. And honestly, it's such a joy to bring these kids up, because I was their mum, you know, because I'm like the you know, the house mum. So it was absolute. I mean, what have you got to do? You've got to clean them, right? You've got to keep them clean. You put clean clothes on them. It's all common sense.
Don't forget feeding them, Paul. You've got to feed them as well.
You feed them.
Yeah.
Whilst looking fabulous.
You take them to the park, you know. Yeah. And I had it sussed out, because we had a local park, and I would take them along in the pushchair and everything and that. And I would say, look, watch the birdies here. And I would go and put Cadbury's milk buttons in the tree, the little packets of the Cadbury's milk buttons. And I would put them in the tree. And then I'd say, you know, they've got a milk button tree here. Let's go and have a look, right? And they go, really, Dad, you know? And we'd go along and I'd say, can you see any? And they'd be going, no, I can't see any. And I'd lift them up, and they'd be like, they'd be sitting up there. They go, no way, you know, and they'd pick them out and stuff. Honestly, you just need a little bit of imagination, you know what I mean?
Right, Paul, until they go to school and they tell all the friends about the milk button tree.
Come on, I foresee a new video channel here. Madam Sin's parenting skills. Come on.
That's the worst when you have to take them to school. Oh God, I remember little Jasmine's face when at their first day at school. She's turning around, looking at me like, "You've betrayed me." Oh God, it was so sad. You know what I mean? And all these mums would be glad to get rid of them. They'd be going, yeah, they going home, you know, getting the wine down, doing loads of lines and that, putting, you know, Jeremy Kyle on and all that. It was. I didn't want any of that. You know what I mean? I used to miss them like mad. I couldn't wait to go and pick them up again. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to really pine after them, you know. I was ready for it. I did everything I wanted to up until the age of 40. Did absolutely everything, more than enough. And I was just so ready to give it up, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Just very lucky.
You got a record?
I have, yeah. Right, okay. So, 1989. What happened in 1989? What were the big cultural things? Can you remember?
The Berlin Wall came down.
That's right. Yeah, Berlin Wall came down. Yeah, massive thing. Yeah, couldn't care less. I tell you what happened in 1989. The Batman film came out.
It did. I remember that. Oh,
and I didn't really listen to kind of pop music and what was in the charts and things like that. But because the Batman, I wanted anything to do with Batman. So I read all the comics and all that kind of stuff, T-shirts, posters, anything. So obviously I'm going to buy Prince's single Bat Dance. Now, this was probably my first, I mean, it definitely was the first Prince record I ever bought. But, you know, and it's, I think most Prince fans would say it's not one of his best.
No, it's not one.
But you know, and it's still ropey, and even with a bit of nostalgia, it's ropey as hell. But the B side, I don't know why I've done that because it can't really say. It still says Batman, but 200 Balloons is a killer tune.
It is,
and I absolutely love it. And it I can't believe it wasn't on the soundtrack album. But you know, the Batman album, because it's the best song that he did at that time.
He did, yeah.
I even had to buy when the best of came out, and it came to the 3-set. There was a third disc, and it had 200 Balloons on it, so I had to get it just because of that. But yeah, so that, I mean, I probably wouldn't be into Prince if it wasn't for Batman. I have to say, you know, it really it pulled me in and got me interested. I mean, whether, you know, in hindsight, whether it kind of matches Batman, and I suppose at the time it did, it kind of went with it. And, you know, I enjoyed all those singles, Party Man, all those kind of stuff. Maybe not Arms for Ryan. That's a pretty...
It is. It's interesting because Tim Burton went to Prince and said, can I use When Doves Cry in the film? And Prince said, no, you don't want to use that. I'll write you a soundtrack. And Tim Burton's like, all right, I only want to use When Doves Cry. No, Prince is like, no, don't worry about it. I will write you an entire soundtrack. So 200 Balloons is actually used in the film, whereas a lot of the stuff on the soundtrack album isn't used. It's stuff that is written around the film, and there's only
it refers to a scene with all where the Joker's got all these balloons that he's going to fill up with laughing gas or whatever it is. Yeah.
So Party Man, that's used in the film. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
But it did wonders for Prince's career because Prince had sold, 20 odd million albums with Purple Rain, one of the biggest albums of all time. And then over the next few years, he made 4 more absolutely fantastic records. Around the World in a Day, Parade, Sign of the Times, and Love Sexy, each which sold fewer records than the previous one. So, you know, he went from selling 20 million records to Love Sexy selling about 1 or 2 million copies. You know, that's where he was down to that stage. Batman came out and he sold 10 million copies. Not because it's Prince's music, because it's Batman, like you bought it, you know.
Yeah.
But it really did, you know, bolster him up again, and he was this massive star again going into the 90s. So it did work wonders for his, you know, for his career, I suppose. But the album itself, it's all right. It ain't great. It's all right.
Yeah.
I do like Bat Dance, though. I love that when it came out.
I knew by choosing Prince I'd get you to do all the talking.
Oh, yeah. I could talk for hours about that, but there you go. But
he had a shop in Camden for a while, Prince. It is a strange bloke. He had this shop in Camden with...
Yeah, he did.
Sort of weird, I don't know, merchandise, I'm guessing. So
basically what would happen when Prince was playing in London, he would turn up in the shop and just ask for all the cash. Right. So literally just, I want all the cash. It's my shop. I'll have all the cash. And he'd come in, take everything and walk out again. Because that was the thing with Prince, was that he always had this big entourage, which is really, really expensive to have, you know. So cash was always an issue, you know. But, it's quite interesting what he did over the years to try and keep paying the bills, basically, keep being Prince.
Yeah, bless his heart. Because he was tiny, wasn't he, Prince?
Yeah, he's about 5 foot. Paul, I've only just clocked that you're drinking your rum punch through a straw now. I like this.
Well, I've been told that it gets you more stoned.
It does.
Yeah.
I remember if you ordered Snake Bite, you weren't allowed to drink it through a straw in our pub because they said lack of oxygen causes chaos in your brain.
I'll try anything 3 times.
Nobody, let's do it. 200 balloons. Blowing down the city, colder than ice. I think you better love me 'cause I'm really kinda nice. If you do me once, girl, you have to do me twice. Wave your hand if you wanna party tonight. Come on, everybody, 200 balloons. Everybody fly with me.
I've been watching lots of Britney Spears recently because she's been doing lots of weird things on Instagram. Bless her heart. She's having another turn. Do you follow Britney?
I've noticed recently she's gone a bit. She's slightly gone a bit happy again, which I know. Okay, I've got a soft spot for Britney as well.
Oh God, I love.
She's
I
had
love
a troubled life, so yeah, she's all right, old Britney.
I went to see Britney in concert many years ago. I did,
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
about 2000.
Yeah, my daughter's seen her in concert. Apparently, she's fantastic. I've never seen her live.
Well, about 2001, I saw her. So a second or third album, something like that. And there's two things that I remember about it. Sitting directly behind me was former Aston Villa footballer and football pundit Andy Gray.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Britney and Andy Gray.
And the other thing was that during the show, there's loads of dancers come on, and they were shooting each other with water pistols. And then poor Britney went to run across the stage. She slipped, and when she slipped, she hit the stage quite hard, and her mic got away from her. But then the music carried on, and so did the singing.
Oh,
Britney.
Such a letdown, isn't it?
Man.
This is why I'm so suspicious of when they do all the dance routines and that. You're thinking, you're going to be out of breath. It's going to show in your voice. When you're jumping up and down and woo woo and doing all that. It's going to, you're going to hear it in the singing, It's only natural.
Yeah.
And when it's just like the record and they're going.
Yeah. No,
that's not live, is it?
John, can you save us with a good final tune then?
A good final tune. Oh, yeah, I've got a big pile of records here as well. What I'm going to play. Well, I'm going to keep the mood up. I'm going to keep it up. And we've been talking about Prince, so I'm going to show a little bit of Patrice Rushen, Forget Me Nots. Now that's a Saturday night tune, Harris, isn't it?
It is. I love it.
It is, yeah. So the reason I'm showing that, well, you mentioned Prince before. So Prince actually wrote a couple of songs for Patrice Rushen, which he didn't record. So one was I Feel For You, which obviously Shaka Khan to do. And for me, that's the best #1 single of the 1980s, Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. And the other one that he wrote for her, apparently, was I Want To Be Your Lover. And she turned them both down. And obviously, he recorded them both for his second album. But I mean, both great songs. But this is brilliant. So she started off in the mid-70s and she made a few jazz albums for Prestige. And they're proper jazz records. They're not. Yeah, they're not this sort of R&B, funky jazz type thing that she's got going on at this point. They're straight jazz records. And what I find interesting is that she progressed to this jazz funk sound, but she never changed the musicians. It's still the same band pretty much who were, 5 years before playing this straight ahead jazz. And then you get to the 80s and this absolute banger of what was it? Sort of R&B, jazz, funk, whatever.
Originally a jazz band, John, and then they went and did all the funky R&B stuff for commercial reasons, Absolutely. And then went back to playing jazz again.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but brilliant, good voice as well, a good pop voice. She's not screaming. It's that dark Ross side of soul music. But yeah, I think that's an absolute classic. Of course, if you're of a certain generation, you'll probably know the melody from Men in Black by Mel Smith. Not Mel Smith, Will Smith. Will Smith.
Mel Smith doing it would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Mel Smith. That's something very different, isn't it?
It'd be a bloody miracle. He's dead.
Is he dead? Yeah. He never looked well, did he?
No. No. He never looks happy either, did he, Paul?
No, alas, Smith and Jones.
No, alias Smith and Jones. No, alas, Smith and Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, because do you remember Griff Rhys Jones used to do it with him, and he never was happy, that guy, did he? He went into directing, didn't he, Mel Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He did that movie with Billy Connolly, and maybe a couple of Pythons or people like that, Eric Idle or someone, Nuns on the Run or
Did he do
whatever.
Nuns on the Run or yeah?
One of those sort of types, wasn't it?
Those were good times we had, sharing the joy that before the last. It was a love and affection, everything was just like a dream. Was it the simple things that made me so crazy about you? Was it your charm or your passion? It's not hard to believe I love you and I need you, so I'm sending you forget-me nots to help me to remember. Baby, please forget me now. I want you to remember. Sending you forget-me nots to help me to remember.
Is it safe to say you were all Smiths fans?
I don't think you all were we? Well, no, definitely
What
not.
about you, Headley? Were you a Smiths fan? No. What about you, John? John, you
I got into the Smiths after when the best ofs came out in about '92.
okay?
But I wasn't a fan during the '80s. I was
No.
too young, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
Harris?
Oh yeah, I was pulled in quite early. It was a
Yeah.
bit of a cult thing, but
They,
yeah, no.
they were really big deal, weren't they?
So, what did
Oh,
you
yeah.
think of them, Paul, at the time?
Do you know, it's really odd. I actually went out with a girl. We're talking about, must be early 80s, is it? When did they start the Smiths?
About '83.
84.
Yeah.
About
The first
83.
single.
Yeah.
Maybe wrong.
That would make perfect sense, 83. Anyway, date this girl, and her sister was going out with the guy. This is a tenuous link, isn't it? But they were in a band called the Dice Men, named after the Luke Reinhold novel. And they were the support band for the Smiths
Right.
back in the early days. And he kept going on about this band, the Smiths, and he said, and then one day I remember him saying, he said, "Oh, they've gone and bloody done it. They've made a record about Myra Hindley and the other dreadful bloke, Ian Brady, right?" So I thought, God, what a stupid thing to do. That's going to kill their career, mate. No one's going to play that, And of course, the next thing I knew, he's on Top of the Pops with Gladiator and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, it shows, isn't it? But to this day, I've never heard a Smiths record.
Well, that song you're talking about is "Suffer Little Children." To me, that's a great tune. That got them on the front page of the Sun. That scandal.
I just outraged about it.
That was an outrage, but that was a very touching tune. And in fact, he became really good friends with the mum of John, whatever the kid, because it was a tribute. Essentially, it was a great tune, but. But your friend was Boz Bora, right? You're friends with Boz Bora, am I right? Yeah,
That's what's so odd is that Boz ended up in his band because
I know
Boz, you probably don't remember, but he was in a band called the Polecats.
Yeah. No, I remember the Polecats. My psychobilly was a lot of my mates were into well, whatever you call it. I don't know what that genre was called. That he
basically he was smart enough because they had this band, Boz, the Polecats. And they could all play, but Tim couldn't sing. So they were very limited in what they could do. But Boz was very clever to get them to do a T-Rex cover and a David Bowie cover.
Mm.
So they did Not Only Dancing and they did Jeeps.
Yeah, that's great.
So that got them some sort of success. But Boz was at school with Matthew, who was in Bow Wow Wow.
Okay.
He used to play the same sort of guitar. And they came from that school. So one went into the whole rockabilly thing. They were both into rockabilly, but one obviously took it the natural progression, and the other went into Bow Wow Wow. who were, don't forget, Adam and the Ants.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, yeah, because they weren't really psychobilly. They weren't psychobilly
No.
at all, were they? It was more like a
not.
rockabilly. Yeah,
they were
yeah.
they were into rockabilly, and Matthew was into all that. Ennio Morricone type spaghetti type music, which really came out in his playing.
I'm assuming you weren't a big fan of psychobilly, were you? I was never.
No.
Like, a lot of my mates went to Guana Bats and that whole club foot scene. I
was too old for that, Harris. I'll tell you why. Because
you're about 17, I reckon. You weren't that old, right?
Well, in '83.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right, I was 20.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You see, so now for me, my whole rockabilly period was 77 to 79. So 14 to 16 for me.
Sure.
Now 79, the Cramps came over. That's where it all started for me. The Cramps.
Crazy. Yeah.
Because they used to play tapes at the beginning of their gigs. That was all the ravey stuff.
Yeah, I remember I watched a video of you saying that. I was like, oh wow, yeah, okay.
And the first interview I saw with them, they said, and we listened to these albums called Pebbles. These Pebbles.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, well, I've got to have Pebbles. So I went right out, and I went into. In fact, it was Rock On. I got my first one, and I got I'll never forget it, Volume 6, and I just thought, oh, this is just wonderful. This is just taking me to another planet now. You know what I mean? And it was another rabbit hole to go down.
But that's a bit that's a bit like Morrissey now. So many gigs now, Morrissey doesn't have a support act. He'll show films of a compilation of his musical taste, so you'll get random 1970s Eurovision entries and stuff like that from obscure countries and whatever, and it's quite interesting to go and see when you go to a Morrissey gig, to see like this montage of various songs, like it might be 15 songs or something on the run up to him coming on stage, because again it's that thing of you're buying into an artist and you're buying into their taste. That's a big part of the attraction, is it? I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see. I think he's like I think he's what is he? Is he a couple of years older than me? I think he is.
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, a couple of years older.
And that generation, you weren't really exposed to a lot of outside music. It was the radio and the telly. If you were lucky to have older brothers or sisters that had a record collection, then you were maybe exposed to something like that. But I don't think he did he? Or did he? I'm not sure.
He's a classic only child, surely.
Sure,
yeah, that's what I would have thought.
I've never seen it like this. His brother or something being interviewed. No.
And so it was whatever was on the radio, and then in the evening you might have some music on a program or something, But kids shows were full of pop music.
Yeah, there were. Absolutely, there were. Well, for my generation, programs like Tiz Was and Store and whatever. That's basically.
I wasn't allowed to watch Tiz Was. It was too coarse, and it was on ITV.
My mate was on Tiz Was. He was the Phantom Flan thrower. Can't say that. Chucked a pie at him. Yeah.
Lovely Sally James. God bless her heart.
Absolutely, yeah.
And before that, she was in Saturday Scene.
Oh, right, okay.
And she used to come on, and she used to have this T-shirt that used to go, Saturday Scene. She was lovely. Sally James, she was so lovely.
Paul, I'm guessing you don't read Record Collector magazine. Is that fair to assume?
Do you know what? It's funny you should mention Record Collector, because I remember when it started. They started in the 80s, Record Collector. What it was, they were these people that had started to reissue Beatles Monthly.
Yeah.
So they got Beatles Monthly from the 60s, and then they started doing facsimiles of it, slightly bigger, not like the really small, like the little ones. Like the
10-inch magazine, wasn't it? Yeah.
And they had it like a letters page, and it would say, I've got all these Beatles records. How much are they worth? And they said, there's obviously people want to know about the values of records, right? and they decided, well, other people must like they must like other things from the 60s as well. So that's how they started Record Collector magazine. And it was brilliant in the early days because at one point, for what it does is when the people start printing values of records, it kills it off for a certain lot of the market. Obviously, it really killed off like rock and roll, for example, all the 60s psych beat stuff. It killed all that. But because they hated black music, they would put all the rare reggae records at 8, 10, or 12 pounds. So all these schmucks would price them up like that. So for years, you could go around to all these record shops where they knew nothing about it, and they would look at record
right on the ball.
£12.
Right. So in here, this issue, this is number.
I love looking at old record collectors and seeing the prices. It's the best.
This is from April '81. This was given to me by Nick's Vinyl Butty when I saw him at a record shop.
I love Nick. Nick's
right, but
dude.
what's interesting about this is that they've done a thing where they've put together the top 850 rare records. Right.
This is going to be good.
Okay, so the top 10. Right. Has anybody got any idea of who might be the top 10?
From that era, my recollection, that's when I first started. It's going to be
LPs.
Elvis. It's so Elvis takes up 7 of the top 10 records.
Mad, isn't it? That is so mad. But I remember that was the case when I first started. Everyone wanted Elvis records.
He wouldn't be in the top 10 at all now.
No, it wouldn't be. No, but yes, 7 of the top 10.
Is it psychedelic stuff in the top 10, John?
No. So at this stage, you've got 7 Elvis. At number 10, you've got the Beatles, Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, White Label promo on Parlophone, which you could get for 175 quid.
That's right.
Right.
Well, I the gold label stereo, please. I sold a copy of that for 75 quid.
Yeah.
And it was in the shop for a fucking year. And now it goes for, I don't know what it is. It goes for thousands or something, isn't it?
So the number 18, something we'd all recognise, the Beatles, Yesterday and Today, the Butcher Sleeve.
Yeah.
140 quid.
Yeah, definitely.
What's that now? What's that, about 1,500, 2,000, is it? I don't know.
Hang on, but there's levels of it, isn't there?
Yeah, it depends on what
pre-peeled, the unpeeled.
Yeah.
Depends on what state it's in, doesn't it?
So at number 1, you've got Elvis TV Guide Presents Elvis, a genuine original USBJ interview disc with question sheet. And that's 2,700 quid. That's the most expensive record they've got in Record Collector. But it's interesting. So when Nick gave me this, I thought, the top 20 or so, I thought I'll try and find out what they're worth now to see, whether is it a good investment to buy a record in 1981 and see what it's worth 44 years later, whatever. So many of those records are worth less now than they were in 1981.
The Elvis ones won't have retained their value.
Some of them have gone up, but it was it's quite interesting.
That's really interesting because when I first started going to second-hand record shops, Elvis, but doo-wop, Paul, would you say doo-wop was pretty big then? I remember doo-wop records being quite expensive even in the 80s.
Let me tell you the thing about doo-wop. It's always been really expensive.
Yeah.
And the top ones, it's like Northern Soul. The top ones, they go for thousands. So it's only old guys that buy these records that go for thousands of dollars. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is, they are all dying. I'm actually waiting. This sounds very morbid, but I'm actually waiting for someone to die. I don't mind naming him. His name's Val Shively. Hello, Val. And he's in Upper Derby in Philadelphia. He has 4 million 45s.
Right,
4 million 45s.
So what are you going to do then, Paul? Are you going to jump?
And most of that is rhythm and blues and doo-wop. I'm waiting for Val to die. I think it's soon because he's become a born again.
Thank God he lost his connection. Internet connection there.
I don't know if born again could be anything.
It could be, could be. Yeah. But on the subject of doo-wop, at number 28, The Penguins with Earth Angel. That's a tune, isn't it?
Oh,
that was
that's
always a
tune.
big one. Because funny enough, I was into doo-wop at about 14. I have no idea why, but I suddenly got in. But Earth Angel was always like a huge record, like
Well,
massively.
actually, I picked this up a couple of years ago. I just pulled it out. It's like a collection of
Oh yeah.
doo-wop stuff, and it's it's got the Penguins on it. One side, Platter's Penguins, Del Vikings, and Dan Lears.
Oh, yeah, the Del Vikings were one of the. I think I got into it because I used to watch Happy Days, and they played Blue Moon by the Marcells.
Okay.
And I think that led me into a whole world of. I was just obsessed by everything at one point.
Right, Harris. Number 56 on this list. The Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen on A&M.
Yeah.
80 quid.
That's crazy. So that's what?
Quid.
What does that go for now?
Well, I know somebody that sold a copy for 11 grand a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
See, I think this shows you, doesn't it? This is evidence of types of music that will go out of fashion, and things will change. And this is why I've got shed loads of country music that I was hoping with Beyonce doing a country album. I was hoping that it was all going to come. I was being quids in.
It's that thing, isn't it? That it's where people reach a generation gets to a certain age where they might have a couple of quid in their pocket because their kids are left home and stuff like that. And they'll spend that money on whatever. I don't know. Yeah, something that they.
Well, it's like all the stuff from kind of our youth. The 90s stuff. Of course, that ties in with when they started doing less records as well. So there is is scarcity as well. But also, we've got to that point, that nostalgia where we're going back. It's like why toys are so popular, because there's the people, either they're the people that couldn't afford them, didn't have them, or they had them and they loved them and they lost them, or they broke or whatever. And it's just that thing, isn't it? And my mum always used to have a thing when she used to watch the Antiques Roadshow, because my mother was into sort of needlework and things like that, so embroidery and stuff. And so she noticed that whenever things that were like embroideries, and they were beautiful, old, rare, they were brought on, and somebody would go, oh, you might get about 90 quid for that, and then there'd be something that was brought on that was like a gun or something like that, and they go for thousands because it's men. It's men who have got money that are buying that stuff because they want to collect it because they think it's cool, and it's that certain age, and that will change. Stop clock tells the right time twice a day. It's that sort of eventually things will.
Yeah. When I started hitting second-hand record shops, it was around 87, and I really started hammering them. The cheapest records that they couldn't give away were progressive rock. Like King Crimson, that were like literally selling for 50 pence. And I think the reason was because CDs had come in, and the kind of people that were into progressive rock when they were 14 were now 22, and the sort of guys that were now buying CD players. Because they were kind of those geeky guys.
The ones that had careers,
Yeah, my local shop I remember putting, please no more copies of Dark Side. Now, Dark Side goes for about 70 or 80 quid, but there were so many copies of Dark Side because people had traded them in for the CD. Yeah. Like, it's really interesting when I think back. And I remember the other one was Carole King's Tapestry. You couldn't move for Tapestry by Carole King. It literally thousands of copies.
I tell you that the market that's going to fall through, I think, soon is the whole jazz, tone poets and all of that stuff.
I agree. Modern, not the original pressing jazz. That'll always hold.
No. But these tone poets and all this sort of stuff that they are 40, 50 quid records new. There's going to be a point at which I think they're going to go off a cliff. I think at some point.
It sounds awful.
Jazz, especially something like a jazz trio. When you're talking about this separation and stuff like that, you don't need to do it with that. There's fucking 3 instruments. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've got a massive band of horns and this and that, and and these are on the left, that's on the right. This is all the stuff. That's the sort of stuff that I can understand. That a bit of differentiation between all those various sounds. Unless, of course, I mean, can you imagine doing it to Phil Spector's Wall of Sound, where you go, now we've separated it all out.
It would be so depressing.
Hear all the distinct instruments. It's like, no. I told you I'm in trouble. I went, Harris, you don't know this. John does. I've gone mental recently.
What am I about to learn?
I've look at this. This is my now. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I had no Venezuelan, Peruvian, or Colombian salsa records. I now have thousands of the fucking things.
Why? They're
Because
probably
they were
brilliant.
cheap.
Because they were cheap.
Where'd you get them from? Why did you get them?
Look at this guy. Look at him. He's like, I mean, that's just genius. Look at his little mini skirt. You want to be in that party, don't you? Look at that.
I'm not sure.
It's great. It's great stuff. No, it's brilliant. I've had such fun listening to all this stuff. It's great. It's great.
Is this from?
No, there's a website called Rare Waves, which they sell on eBay. But I mean, basically, they're all basically a tenner. And I suppose it's a little bit of that FOMO thing, you know, which everyone, of course, all the tone poet people have, where that thing, if I don't get it, I'll never have it, you know. But I mean, God knows, these are probably things that will just. It's a Spanish label called Vampy Soul, which is a great label for doing with, you know, re-releases. Yeah. I mean, obviously they do a lot of the sort of Latin stuff because, you know, they speak Spanish. Yeah. Yeah,
that's good.
Look at this guy. This guy's good. Look at this guy.
You'll have to stick a clip.
Now that immediately appeals to me. Anyone on the fucking tom-toms, bongos, you name it.
No. This one's better.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah.
Look at that. Racking. Yeah. So I don't know. The trouble is, I was supposedly going to do a video today about all the sort of Buena Vista Social Club records I have, and I keep chickening out because I know fuck all about it, and I know even less about this sort of shit. And I'm going to be in the Mazzy thing, and people are getting in touch with me going, "You don't know anything about Venezuelan salsa music.
You're not from Venezuela."
I will say when you talk about records and don't know, you can see it immediately in the VC, can't you?
Yeah.
It's the biggest giveaway. You know, you just know, and the credibility goes. So you need to get on Wiki, Headley, and start.
No. With that, if I'm going to show that sort of stuff, I'm literally going to go hands up. I know nothing about it.
It doesn't matter. Just
make the approach.
Just make it up. Just make it up. Yeah. Just make with confidence. That's all you got to do. You'll be fine. Everybody believe everything you say then. We just all got to say bye just quickly.
Bye.
Yep, see you, bye. That'll do.